There's always a bit of a delay. So we're setting up. Should be live any moment now. We're rocking.
There's always a bit of a delay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Trip Delivers overview. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes. We're going to be joined by a very good friend of mine and someone who is an expert in the restaurant delivery space and the affiliate marketing space. And so I'll be introducing him very shortly. So welcome on, everybody. Like we've got some people hopping on. Welcome on, wherever you're from. We've got folks from the West Coast. Looks like the East Coast as well. Got Miss Escobar. Good evening. We'll get started here in a couple minutes, guys. We're going to run through just a brief company overview, share a little bit about who we are here at Trip Delivers, what we're doing, where our vision's headed, and exactly how you could be a part of it and benefit from what we're doing financially. Leonard's on. Welcome, buddy. Jim, Desi, Blaine, welcome, guys. I guess those are just people that type in on the chat. We got quite a few folks that aren't typing in the chat, which is fine. But with the way YouTube works, I can't see who you are if you're not on the chat. But a lot of you are hopping on. Aloha from Hawaii, it looks like. So we're covering all the United States, every time zone we can. California's on. Welcome. We've got Florida for sure. I'm in Kansas, so I know that's representing right now, covering the middle of the United States. Looks like Atlanta's on. Welcome from Atlanta, guys. Again, for those of you that are brand new, we're just going to get started here in about a minute. We're going to run through a brief company overview of Trip Delivers. This is definitely not going to be designed to answer every question you have about Trip Delivers, but it's going to give you enough information to know either A, whether you'd want to learn more, or it might be enough information to have you make a decision to go, you know what, this is something I want to be a part of. And that's the decision I made just a little over a month and a half ago when I met with our CEO, and he's actually flying right now. He's on a plane from Orange County back to Vegas, and then Vegas to San Francisco tomorrow. There's a couple investors that are funding, I guess, what we call round one of the Trip Delivers funding round, and then round two will be followed shortly after round one. So I'd say within the next few months, we'll have a first 2 rounds of investing coming in. And so good things are happening. Looks like Washington's in, Kentucky. Welcome on, guys. And again, we're going to go ahead and get things started. We're going to run through a brief overview, share a little bit of information about Trip, who we are, what we're up to, our vision, and how you guys can be a part of it if you're brand new and looking at this for the very first time. So what I'm going to do is share my screen real quick and then go through just a quick PowerPoint. I'm going to also introduce a very good friend of mine, somebody that's been a mentor to me over the years, but he's not only amazing in the affiliate marketing space. I mean, he's built up several multi-million-dollar companies that he's run, but he's also built up extremely successful restaurant delivery service that actually Trip Delivers acquired not but a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, acquired his company and brought him into the Trip Delivers family. And so someone that's got the experience as an affiliate marketer, but also someone that's got the experience on the restaurant delivery side. That's really an expert that we can always use as a part of the Trip Delivers family. So I'll share my screen real quick and go through our quick company overview. And again, this is going to be pretty brief. The compensation I'll run through real quickly. So it's not going to, again, this isn't designed to answer all of your questions, but it's designed to give you enough information to know either A, whether you want to learn more, or B, whether you want to, kind of saddle up and go on this ride with us. So Trip Delivers, the company itself was founded very recently. It's been in business as far as, delivering and everything, November 2020. The company launched out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but it's been in operation kind of the makings for the last couple of years. So that's not something that's overnight. There's definitely been a lot of work that went into it, but it's participating in the $107 billion restaurant delivery business. It's capitalizing on the projected 100+% growth within the industry by 2025. And with COVID, that's speeding up that timeline quite a bit. Delivery's gotten bigger and bigger as obviously people are less able to go outside of their homes to dine, and they still want to eat from their favorite restaurants, and delivery is pretty much the only way to do that. Some of them are open for takeout as well. But the key with what Trip is doing is really disrupting the major players within the industry. The industry as a whole is growing like wildfire. 60% of U.S. consumers order delivery or takeout once a week. The online food industry is set to hit well over $200 billion by 2025, according to Forbes magazine. There's a lot of massive growth within the industry. And when you can get involved in an industry that's going to be going from, billions to hundreds of billions, you can make a lot of money if you position yourself at the right place at the right time. And that's really what we're doing. There's major industry players that are doing billions of dollars, the DoorDashes, Grubhubs, the Ubers of the world. There's companies like delivery.com, Waiter, Eat Street doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue on an annual basis. And the thing about these 100 million and billion-dollar players is they're doing the exact same things. And fortunately for us, the exact same thing for these guys has really created a lot of unhappy customers, unhappy drivers, and really unhappy restaurants that are, especially during this pandemic, trying to cope with the pricing model that all of these guys have put together. And it's almost exactly the same model. And that was my background in restaurant delivery. I started my own service in 2016, and we followed the same model that these guys did. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. But if you can come up with a way to disrupt that model, that's how you can shake the entire industry. And that's really what our CEO has put together with Trip Delivers, a way to create happy restaurants, happy drivers, and happy customers. And the main way he does it with the restaurant side is the compensation. When you look at all these different restaurants and the way they compensate, working with Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub, if you've got an average restaurant doing 20 orders a day and they average about $40 an order, that creates a little over $284,000 in annual sales. Well, the way the commissions work with the Grubhubs and DoorDashes and Uber Eats and Postmates and delivery.com, all the companies in the sector, is a percentage of revenue. And on average, they could be looking at near $100,000 in fees annually just through the delivery service with these major players. Now, Trip Delivers is completely different. We have a flat rate. So 20 orders a day equals 7,300 orders a year. Annually, we can charge $2 per order. That's $14,000 in fees, a little over $14,000 in fees, a little over $84,000 in annual savings for a restaurant. So if you're a restaurant doing delivery and you can pay $100,000 in fees or $14,000 in fees, I think all of us would, if we could blink our eyes as a restaurant owner, we would choose to pay $14,000 in fees and save that other $84,993 goes right into our pocket as profit. It's not just what you earn as a business owner, it's what you can keep. And Trip Delivers figured out a system where restaurants can keep way more of their money. We don't have a commission fee on our restaurants. We have a flat rate, $3 for non-members, $2 for members. Restaurants, they're paid instantly. With Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, some of these restaurants will wait weeks and sometimes even months before they get their paycheck. Drivers, same thing. Anyone that drives with Trip Delivers, paid instantly. Our customers don't have any hidden service fees. I mean, some of these big players will tag on another 30% in some cases on their orders without really knowing until they check out. Do they even see all these little fees? And the number just keeps rising and rising when it's time to check out. We don't do anything like that with Trip Delivers. So what that does, that transparency and that pricing model creates happy customers, happy drivers, and happy restaurants, which creates an opportunity within the industry. And the team that put that opportunity together, especially Mr. Bob McNulty, I mean, he's somebody that has built multiple billion-dollar companies. He's trained hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. And probably the main thing about Bob is he specializes in market disruption and viral growth. And when you can get involved in something that disrupts a multiple $100+ billion marketplace and creates viral growth within that marketplace, we're all at the right place at the right time. The beauty about getting started, if you said, you know what, I want to give this a try, it's free. Everyone should start out as a free customer. Before you do anything else, you download our app. It's free. Whoever invited you onto this webinar or shared this video with you, ask them to send you the application. Say, hey, send me your app. They'll send you their link to their app. You download it to your smartphone, and now you're in. You can become a customer. You can order food. You can have it delivered to you, or you can refer restaurants. You can refer drivers. You can refer other customers. You can refer what we call marketers, and you get paid every time you do that. It costs you nothing. That's the other thing I love about Trip Delivers. To give it a try, to kick the tires and see what you think, it's free. Download the app, get started, start making money. And then if you say, hey, you know what? I'm making, 30% off all the referrals that I'm doing. I've got customers that are going. I'm making 40 cents off each customer. Every time they place an order, the restaurants, every time they send out a delivery, I'm getting paid. What if I wanted to drive a little bit? The gig economy is growing. You can become a side hustle driver for $40 a month, and you don't pay the $40 until you've driven for a month. So that's the other thing I really love about the Trip Delivers model. You make money before you have to pay anything at all. So if you want to drive, that's great. You make a bunch of money driving, you pay $40 so you can continue to drive next month. You make a bunch of money, you pay $40 so you can be a side hustle driver the next month. You get delivery fees there, per mile fees. You get a little bit of a raise over a free customer, which earns 30% on their referrals. You make 40% on what we call your Connect One referrals. If you introduce another driver or restaurant, you make a 40% referral fee for doing that every single month for the life of that driver, the life of that restaurant. As long as they're delivering, you're getting paid. Now, if you want to do more deliveries, you can become what we call a pro driver for $100 a month. And again, you don't pay that until you've driven for an entire month. So you're making money before you do any spending. And our drivers get paid instantly. They get paid more. These big billion-dollar companies, on average, their low deliveries are $2 to $3 plus tips. The minimum our drivers are making is $5.40 a delivery. The minimum plus their tips. So they get paid more here than they do over there. You also, as a pro driver, instead of making 40% or 30% on your referrals, you make 50%. And then we have what's called Connect 2 referrals. I'm not going to get in depth really into our comp plan today. This just being a brief overview, but we have trainings that we run and we explain the compensation plan a little more in depth. But then we have a marketer position. The marketer is $400 annually. You get 50% on all your referrals, just like a pro driver. You get 15% on what we call your Connect 2 referrals and 5% on what we call your Connect 3 referrals. I'll explain that here shortly. You also have a replicating website. Our Verb marketing platform is included if you're a marketer, and our round robin lead generator program. So you get leads that are coming to you as a marketer. So this is someone that's a little more serious as far as referring. They're looking to maybe potentially replace a career, replace a full-time income, and that's what a marketer can do with the Trip Delivers program. There's 4 ways to earn with Trip Delivers: referring customers, referring drivers, referring restaurants, or referring other marketers. Pretty simple. As you do those things, you can get paid every time an order goes out, every time a driver pays that monthly fee, or a marketer pays their annual fee. You can also get our Connect 2 and Connect 3 overrides. No matter what level you're at, whether you're a customer for free, just trying things out, or you're a marketer, every time a restaurant you refer does a delivery, you make 40 cents. Every time a customer you refer the app to orders, you make 40 cents. Whether you're a customer or a marketer or a driver, doesn't matter. So if you referred 10 restaurants doing those 20 deliveries a day, that's 6,000 orders per month between those 10 restaurants. 40 cents an order, you're making $2,400 per month. So you could be a free customer that never paid a dime to Trip Delivers, and you just referred us 10 restaurants that are doing 20 deliveries a day, and you're making $2,400 a month. And that's residual, month after month after month. As long as those restaurants are pushing out deliveries, you're getting paid month after month after month after year after year after year. 2,400, 2,400. Now, if you start referring drivers, you can earn what we call our Connect One monthly commissions. 10 drivers you refer, making $50 a month per driver, you make $500 a month. You've got that on top of your restaurants. Now you're at $2,900 a month. That's residual. As long as those drivers are driving, paying their monthly fee, as long as those restaurants are sending out deliveries, $2,900 a month, month after month after month after month, because you're a marketer with Trip Delivers. If you're a customer, you make a little bit less. Instead of making $50 for each driver, you make $30, but it's still $300 instead of $500. So you're making $2,700 per month as a free customer. Now, there's annual commissions as well off of bringing in marketers and restaurants. You can make $1,000 for bringing in, some 10 restaurants. Plus, you've got your residuals that are coming in off the restaurants and drivers. So there's a lot of money that can be made. The Connect 2 and 3, that's if you introduce someone like me, I'm your Connect 1. So if I become a driver and I start paying my fee, you're making that money off the referral. If I introduce my sister and she becomes a driver, that's what we call your Connect 2. So if you're a marketer, you're making 15% on your Connect 2s. That'd be someone like my sister. If my sister introduced, her daughter, Tara, you'd make 5% because Tara would be what we call your Connect 3. So you get paid up to 3 connections, the people you refer, the people they refer, and the people their people refer. Now that can add up. If you were a marketer and you introduced 3 people that went out and got 10 restaurants each, you can make some pretty good money off of that. If they each referred 10 drivers, you're making $2,250 per month off of your Connect 2. So you introduced 10 restaurants and 10 drivers, taught them to do the same exact thing. Now we have people in Trip that within their first week referred over 60 restaurants. So I'm not saying you're going to do that. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. But the bottom line is my thought process is if there's somebody that went and referred 60 restaurants in their first week, I can probably get 10 within my first month or 2. And I can probably introduce a few people and teach them how to get 10 restaurants as well. And if that helps me make a couple thousand from them, even better. Now Connect 3, if those 3 each bring in 3, now you've got 9 people in your Connect 3. Those 9 people get 10 restaurants and 10 drivers each. That's $5,400. Plus, you got your $2,900. Now we're at $8,300 a month. That's you getting 10 restaurants, 10 drivers, and helping 12 people get 10 restaurants and 10 drivers. 12 people in your entire Trip Delivers family organization, 10 restaurants, 10 drivers, doing 20 deliveries a day for each of those restaurants, and you're over $8,000 per month. I mean, you're closing in on some significant full-time income for most people in America right there. That's going to be double or triple what the average American makes. So there's some massive income that can be made. And the best thing about it is we're going to teach and train you every step of the way. And to introduce someone to really help go through what now, if you've liked what you've seen so far, the question becomes, what do I do to get started? There's 4 simple steps to get started. And this is a gentleman that when I first started in the affiliate marketing world, he shared with me the 4 steps on how to get started in the company he was working in. And those 4 steps were simple, they worked, and I knew I could do it because of the way he spelled it out. And he actually put together 4 steps on how to get started with the Trip Delivers family. This was one of the things that I was really excited when we decided to purchase his restaurant delivery service and merge them into the Trip Delivers family, is I knew we could have him on working together with us to teach people that like the concept, what would they need to do next to get started and have success right away. So to share with us that system on how do we become successful right away, I want to introduce my good friend, my mentor. This gentleman has built up several multi-million-dollar companies, Mr. Paul Michael.
So when Tony says these things, it's really nice. He says all kinds of cool and nice things about me. But when he says that we went over these 4 steps, these aren't something I came up with, obviously. I may have taught it to him or he may have learned it through, but there's other people that are smarter than I am, way smarter than I am. And I will say this, back when Tony first learned these, he had hair. So that was a long time ago. I'm just kidding. But So I'll just tell you real quickly my story, and then we'll get into these 4 steps. Like, I really truly believe stories are what matters. Facts tell, stories tell, stories sell. My mentor, when I met 20-something, 30-something years ago, I was trying to go to school. I didn't do well in that. I ended up in the restaurant delivery service, but mine was delivering food from the kitchen to the table. Like, I was a waiter. That's what I did. And I knew I didn't want to do that forever, but I never understood how to get ahead. I never understood how to move ahead. And I met a guy when I was 22 years old. He goes, listen, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you got. And so I started changing the way I thought. I started changing the way I did things. And over the years, Tony and I have kept in contact with different businesses. He actually got me involved in the restaurant delivery service. And I love the concept, because how many of us on this Zoom call tonight would agree that we would all love to get paid every time somebody orders food? Like, how many of us have seen somebody order pizza or whatever? If every single time somebody ordered pizza next door to you, you'd be like, I get paid off of that. How many of us would be excited? All of us. And so I started looking at that. I'm like, true residual income comes from something that people do over and over and over, and they do it willingly. They're not forced to. How many of us realize when people run out of gas, they go get gas again for their car? When they run out of food, they go to the grocery store or they go to the restaurant. So I started looking at this a few years ago, but what I didn't understand is, why on earth would restaurants be willing to give up 20 and 30% of their profit when they're already working on small margins? So I started putting together my own program, developing my own software, and then Tony came along and ruined it, because he brought a concept that was almost better than what I was doing. And it was better than what I was doing. They were further ahead in what they were doing. And the minute I met Bob McNulty, that's when I was like, all right, I'm in. I mean, I trusted Tony and I listened to him, but I was on a conference call, a Zoom meeting just like this, for about 45 minutes. You know, I had a hat on the first night. I'm like, I'm meeting a guy that's worth however much money he's worth, how many times he's exited, how many companies he's done this with, and he's willing to get on the phone with me. I'm going to listen to what he said. And I have been successful. I've had companies that have, I've started from the ground up and made millions of dollars. But one thing my mentor taught me a long time ago was, what is bigger, your ego or your bank account? And he said, listen, you need to find people who have what you want, and you'll do what they do and you'll get what they have. Now, I've exited a few marriages, and I've never made as much money as Bob McNulty has made money, exiting companies. So what I looked at was, I got excited about the company, but I got more excited about the people. And I got excited about people that have already been successful. Tony's been extremely successful, probably more successful than I have in a lot of different things. He's been in Bitcoin. He's been in restaurant delivery service. He's one of those people that finds things and latches onto it and then makes it better. And I know that's what Mr. McNulty saw in him. And then I was so blessed that I have a group of people in my team. And it's so funny. We were about to launch a whole lot of stuff. We were going full bore. We had our software. And then I said, right before Christmas, hold on a minute. I got a conference call. And I made a quick decision. I said, listen, you know what? I believe in where this company's going, and I believe there's strengths in numbers. And I also believe when you align yourself with the right people, you can't be stopped. And I truly believe where we're going to go with triglelivers in the next couple of years is going to be ridiculous. And some of you are going to have Tony's going to talk about it at the end of this call real quickly. And I'm going to go through these 4 steps extremely quick. But I want you to understand, this company gives you the option to not only make money off of drivers, off of referring customers. I have a gentleman that worked with me in a company over 20 years ago in the affiliate marketing space, who tonight, he and I sat down and I was like, if Jeff can figure out how to use this thing tonight, anybody can. He has 4 or 5 people already signed up as customers after this call tonight. And I'm using him and doing a whole competition within my group. Well, the thing about it is, you want to sign up as many people as you can. We'll get to that in a second. But what I got excited about was these 4 steps. And we've used the same 4 steps for years and years and years. The first one is sign up. Like Tony said, it's free, it's easy, it doesn't cost you anything. If whoever's on this call, whoever invited you on, make sure you get with them. Make sure you talk to them. They'll give you their referral code. They'll send you a link through a text or however they do it. And they'll make sure that you get signed up. Then you can start sending that out. And you're going to want to try the service yourself. If you're not in an area that has restaurants, I see some people. I had a person the other day, lady I talked to today, goes, well, there's no restaurants where I am. And I said, that's the best thing ever. She goes, why? And I go, because guess what? Now when you go get all the restaurants, you're going to make money off of all the restaurants. You're going to make money off all the drivers that get signed up. and you're going to make money off all the customers in that area if you go out and get them. She goes, I could be like Walmart in this area. And I said, I mean, you're kind of right. Like, you can get everything. You can take a piece of it. So you want to try it out as soon as you can. The third step is the last two steps are the most important. Well, first one's pretty important too. If you don't sign up, you can't do anything. But the third step, who do you know? Like when I went to, we're all taught growing up, it's not what you know, or it's what you know, right? If you have that degree and all that other stuff, I didn't have a degree. I have a friend of mine who has a TV show that's called Boise Boys on, and he's actually going to be doing a little bit of stuff with us, but he's on a show called Boise Boys. He was valedictorian of our high school. He was one of the smartest people I've ever, I tell a joke all the time when he and I do seminars and things together. I said, listen, Clint graduated magna cum laude, and I got out of school, Lordy, how come? I was not a brilliant person, but I had a personality and I had a lot of friends and I like to talk to people. And when I met my mentor, he goes, listen, who do you know that could become a customer in what we're doing? And I sat down and I made out a list of people. And then he said, who do you know that owns a restaurant? Listen, here in Florida, we go to restaurants and bars. I know so many bartenders and people. That's probably not the thing I should say out loud. But I mean, we know a lot of people around here. And when I sat down and I got into this restaurant, I'm like, okay, I know this person that's a GM. I know these people that are managers. I know these people that can get me in. And I guarantee you, some of you know those people too. How many of us on this call tonight know somebody that could use extra money on a part-time or full-time basis? Listen, I've been doing this for a little while. I watch a lot of the different places where like drivers for Uber Eats and DoorDash, I call them support groups on Facebook because all they do really is get on there and gripe. But I watch them, and I'm going to teach you over the next couple of months how you can go and get a lot of drivers and recruit drivers in different ways. And Tony and I both are. But one of the things I started realizing is I don't even know where sometimes I just lose a thought. So just forgive me. But drivers are the lifeblood of what we're doing. So you're going to want to get as many of those people as you possibly can. And we're going to show you how to do that. Marketers is another thing. How many of us know? Oh, one of the things I was going to say, I got my thought back. Thanks. So if I keep talking long enough, it comes back to me. But what I was going to say, there's so many people that I watch on DoorDash and Uber Eats that they have full-time jobs, but they drive so that they can have some extra money, so they can go on a vacation, so they can buy an extra car, so they can do something nice for their spouse, so they can do something nice for their family and go on a vacation. So you may not think that someone might want to be a driver, but you never know. I had a gentleman up in Maryland and I talked to him on the phone. He'd owned his own business. He sold it. He got bored and he goes, Paul, you're never going to believe this, but I've done over 1,000 drives doing Uber, driving people around. He goes, because you know what? I can turn it on when I want. I can turn it off when I want. I can do it however I want. So we're going to show you how to talk to those people. Marketers, we're going to show you how to get those. So you're going to sit down over the next few weeks and we're going to work with you and show you and help you. Because listen, if this company gets big, Tony and I benefit. If this company gets big, some of you are going to be able to benefit. How many have ever wanted to own stock in a company? And we're going to get to that in just a second. But how many of us don't know what company to buy, when to buy it, how to get it? Tony's going to show you a way you can get stock in this company that I promise you, if this thing goes out and does what Mr. McNulty's done in the past, some of you are never going to have to work again in the next 36 months. And I've seen it happen. Listen, Postmates was bought by Uber Eats for $2.6 billion. Don't you think there were some people that were there in the beginning? There were people that got involved with Postmates that said, I don't know if this thing's going to work, but let's try it out. And that some of those people have hundreds of millions of dollars now. So I'm telling you, being in the right place at the right time, but taking advantage of it is one of the most important things. And let me tell you, the reason why our company is going to be more successful, better than any of these other companies, and the reason why I know it is because of training. Training is the single most valuable thing you can ever have, but it depends on who you're getting trained by. How many have ever heard the phrase success leaves clues? We've all heard that, right? Success leaves clues. We all understand that success is something that we watch. Mr. McNulty's got success. Tony's got success. Shannon, some of these other people that I've heard of in the company, they have success. They've been successful doing what they've done. I've already heard some amazing stories about great people. I want to learn those stories so I can repeat them over and over and over. But we have some amazing people that are involved in this company, and it's just going to get bigger. And it's going to get bigger. And training is the most important part of this. We're going to teach you how to get restaurants. There's things you should and shouldn't say to somebody when you're trying to recruit them. You know what? If you could just put people in front of Tony every single Monday and Thursday night, you're going to be able to make a lot of money. And we're going to teach you how to recruit. I know some people go, I know how to recruit. No, you don't. Because let me tell you something. When I first tried to recruit people, they say that scientists have proven that we retrain 7 to 10% of what we see and hear the first time. So I saw an overview like what you saw, and then I went and tried to talk to my friend. I would caution you, don't go try to explain this whole thing to your friends tonight, because you're going to get off the phone. You're going to go, I'm so excited. I don't know exactly what I just saw, but there's some fat guy from Florida and some bald guy from Wichita, Kansas, and they're talking about making a lot of money being delivery drivers. We're going to get rich, billions of dollars being delivery drivers. And that's all you're going to remember. And your family and your friends are going to look at you like you have 3 heads. There's certain things you say, certain things you don't say. And we're going to teach you what to say and what not to say. But the training is the most important part of it. And it's the only thing that I know that has made me a successful person that I can be and have been in the past, because of the fact that I know exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it, what to do, what not to do. It's almost more important to know what not to do than what to do sometimes. So we're going to teach you all those things. And tonight, these 4 steps are extremely important. I'm so excited. I'm so fired up. I'm excited about 2020. I'm so excited 2020 is over. I almost died from COVID in 2020, so I'm really ready for that year to be over. But 2021, you get to start over fresh, brand new. And I promise you, there's people that on this call, you fall into 1 of 3 categories. You're going to look at this. Some of you are going to go, you know what? That's not for me. Those people are probably already logged off anyway. Second type person looked at this and goes, I'm excited, but I got more questions. I want to understand how the pay plan works. You went through it really quickly. We can get that answered for you. The third person's like I was. When I met Mr. McNulty a couple of weeks ago, and listen, I put over $200,000 with my partners, well over $200,000 into building a software. So we had that already. We were ready to go nationwide. We were about to pump a lot of money in. We were going to do a lot of different things. As someone like myself that's done that, saw a vision, saw something, and I was willing to shelve what we were doing to come and be a part of Trip Delivers, what have you got to lose? Like, I'm telling you, you've got nothing to lose. And Tony's going to share something with you really quickly, and then we'll end this call tonight that'll really, I think, really set this off.
Right on, Paul. Well, thanks so much for your insight. And obviously, we're so excited to have you as a part of the Trip Delivers family. And guys, anytime you can get Paul's time, anytime you can plug into a training, again, he's somebody that's mentored me. He's somebody that's mentored several people that have made millions of dollars. It's one thing to be a multimillionaire. It's another thing to help people create wealth within their lives. And that's one of the things that I think Paul is really a servant leader. He's somebody that's always looking to help others succeed. And so we're definitely blessed to have him as part of the Trip Delivers family. And one of the things that he talked about with me and Bob was, we need to have a promotion. We need to do something between, this was late December and the end of January, so for the next few weeks, we have the ability, we kind of call it Christmas coming early. December 23rd, they started a stock certificate promotion. So any new marketer that you bring into the Trip Delivers family is worth 500 stock options for you. And that's within all 3 of your connections. So what I mean by that is if you introduce me to Trip Delivers and I decide I want to become a marketer, I pay the $400. I'm looking to really, wrap my hands around this thing. You get 500 stock options, 500 shares, bang, right there. I introduce my mom. I get 500 stock options when she becomes a marketer. So do you. My mom introduces my sister. She becomes a marketer. Mom gets 500 stock options. I get 500. So do you. Now, what are those options worth? Who knows, right? You can't make any guarantees. I can tell you this, companies like DoorDash opened at $180 a share. Bob has exited several companies. I can't imagine us opening lower than 10. I mean, like the way we're looking to start this party. So imagine, let's say it is $10 a share. Let's say we don't get to DoorDash. We don't get to 180 a share, even 100 a share. Imagine you sign me up as a marketer, and then the shares, you get paid for your referral fee as a marketer. You get money there in the compensation plan. I sign up some restaurants. You sign up restaurants. You get paid there as well. I sign up drivers. You get paid there as well. So you're getting paid off me. And then let's say the stock options. I signed up my mom and my sister. So now you got 1,500 options. And let's say at $10 a pop, there's $15,000 in your pocket. If that's all you ever did and the options hit. Now, if it's $100 a share, that's 150,000 for bringing 3 people. What if you brought in 30 of us? What if you brought in 300 in your organization between now and the end of January? And there's people that will do that. The amount that your options could be worth, I mean, there's literally people that could earn millions of dollars in options over the next few weeks. That's what's really exciting about being on the ground floor. It's just like, Microsoft. Unfortunately, Bill Gates didn't call me or my family to the barbecue when he started Microsoft in the 80s. I mean, he didn't. Google, Sergey and the homeboy from Stanford, him and his buddy, they didn't give me a call. Mark Zuckerberg didn't call Paul and I and say, hey, I got this idea about Facebook. You guys ought to come on by and get into it. Like, looking back, like if they would have made that call, wouldn't it have been amazing to be a part of that party? I mean, we'd be 100 million to billionaires just by being at the right place at the right time and taking action and working with those guys. But the bottom line is Zuckerberg didn't call any of us and invite us to the barbecue. Bill Gates didn't call us. The Google guys didn't call us. Sam Walton probably didn't call your grandfather, or you wouldn't be on this webinar either. So we missed those opportunities. Bob McNulty has exited billion-dollar companies, hundreds of millions of dollars, taking companies public, and now he's inviting us all along for the ride. But the bottom line is we can gather up as many shares as we want, but a few things have to happen. Number one, you got to be at the right place at the right time. Hopefully, Paul and I have done a great enough job sharing our vision with you that you realize the restaurant delivery, that industry is growing faster now than about any other industry on the planet. The pandemic has been bad for so many companies. Our company has skyrocketed due to this pandemic. And listen, there's nothing right or wrong about that. Some things that happen in the economy crush businesses. That same thing could propel another business to hundreds of billions of dollars. We are very fortunate that our business, not only is it not hurt by the pandemic, it's thrust into overdrive in the pandemic. So we are at the right place at the right time. But the number two thing is you've got to realize it. Even though we didn't get invited to the barbecue, we could have bought stock in Tesla. Elon Musk probably didn't invite it to the barbecue, but Tesla stock's been around forever. I got buddies that bought it just at the start of 2020 and they're up like 70%. I've got people that bought it years ago that are up thousands of percent. Now, we all had the opportunity to buy Tesla stock. Every one of us. If you're on this webinar, you probably had the opportunity to buy Tesla stock. We were at the right place, at the right time, but we didn't realize it.
Right.
So that's where the third thing comes in. You've got to be at the right place. You've got to be there at the right time. And most importantly, you've got to take massive and immediate action. Successful people pull the trigger. They move quick. They're slow to change their mind once they make up their mind, but they're quick to make up their mind in the first place. And they're the people that are going to pull the trigger. They're going to fill up. Hey, send me the app. They're going to have their friend send them the app. They're going to download it right now, become a customer. They're going to start checking things out. They're going to start plugging into the trainings on our YouTube channel, and they're going to eventually become a marketer. They're going to make that decision pretty quickly. And then they're going to introduce their spouse to the information and make her become a marketer. One, because she's a good marketer, and two, because they want to get 500 shares of stock right out of the gate. And then they're going to introduce their neighbor, and they're going to introduce their best friend from college. They're going to introduce their best friends from high school, and they're going to sign them up as marketers because they're going to want them to get in, and they're going to get shares of stock there. And then those people are going to start introducing people, and you're going to make more shares of stock. You're at the right place, you're at the right time, and you're going to take massive and immediate action. And we're going to be here every step of the way to show you exactly what you need to do to win with Trip Delivers. So we appreciate each and every one of you hopping onto this webinar. Thank you so much for sharing some of your time with us to see what the Trip Delivers family has to offer. And for those of you that make that decision, for those of you that decide to take massive and immediate action, along with Paul, I want to be one of the first people to welcome you to the Trip Delivers family. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to each and every one of you on our next training.